What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Just a Rival podcast. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to me and Aaron, aka Head of the Table, talking some Colts and Texans football, some good old rivalry talk. Shut up, ESPN. We're in the middle of the video, but let's go. We're talking schedules, breaking down Colts and Texans schedule. Colts got one prime time game, two if you include that international game, and a possible third one that to be declared. You know, the last week they never set a time. They keep everything mysterious because they never know what's going to happen. They don't know what play-in games we're going to get, and of course, they always have the Colts and the Texans the last week because
that's my thing too. And it says to be determined. It's like, all right, well, I mean, we'll see as the season goes of where it's going to lead in that final game.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, the Colts and Texans, they're probably going to be competing for a division. I think the Titans, as DJ talked about last week, we all talked about the Titans can be sneaky, but a lot of things have to go right for them to be sneaky, to be good enough to win the division, but I don't see it. And Jaguars, we just know the Jaguars, they're kind of in a hot mess as they are every year. You know, they're in contention for the number one overall pick.
Yeah, and the media is trying to hype up the Jaguars lately, and I'm just like, man, and they're kind of like doing that whole, Travis Hunter versus Nico, and then on offense, Travis Hunter versus Derek. I'm like, you're testing the waters there. You're testing the waters on him getting bullied.
Yeah, I mean, he was phenomenal in college. Don't get me wrong. One-of-a-kind player. How many players can go out and play two positions and play them at a high level that he did? But now you're comparing him to some of the best that they're, Nico Collins, one of the best receivers in the league. You have Derek Stingley, one of the best, if not the best cornerback in the league. It's not fair. It's not fair comparing and say, okay, he's on that part. No, you don't even know, if he's going to be good on. You don't even know what side he's going to be best on or what side they're going to keep on. I think it's going to be receiver, but yeah, it's just kind of like, come on, man. We haven't even seen him play yet, and you're already going to start chirping.
Yeah,
I mean, at least we're not. I mean, I know the Colts miss the playoffs every year, like by one game or two, but at least we're not competing for the number one overall pick, every year, man. Come on now.
It's like how Jaguars and Titans always have that like good start to the season, and they just automatically fall off.
Yep.
That's how it is.
And it feels like they're the loudest fans. It feels like they're always the chirpiest. Why? But I mean, the Titans had a good couple of years there, and the Jaguars had one or two good years there. But other than that, I mean, they have one good year, man, and they talk about it for a decade. So, all right, I guess is there anything else you want to talk about before we get into the schedule, or it's just time to get into the schedule and
honestly, I was just gonna talk about like all the schedule release videos. Everybody had great ones. I'm not gonna lie, I really loved the Colts, even though they did leave. All the schedules were nice to see. Our Texan video was decent at best, but the Colts one where they deleted it, I was like, man, they should have just kept it.
Yeah, even Tyreek said that he thought it was funny. Tyreek said he thought it was funny. They could have got it. Might have been something with Microsoft. They had an issue with since it was Minecraft or whatever it was, but it was hilarious. It was funny. It was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, go ahead and start where you want to start with the Texans schedule.
So with us, we of course with primetime games, we have 4 in general, which is like so good compared to last year. We had primetime games last year, but in a way we felt spoiled in a way because we had so much names on our team with Stephon, Tank, just like we were that kind of media team, like where everybody's all hyping us up, and we didn't really show out as much as we wanted to. But this year we've been quiet. We've been that quiet team. We've been building on our own. So us with these 4 primetime games, 2 on Monday night, 1 on Thursday night, and 1 on Sunday night. Like those are all like really good. They're all spaced out from each other, and for us as fans, we're ready to see like our jersey, like because of how I know they reported that they're going to allow everybody to wear their alternate jerseys more. So I'm definitely ready for that. But with week 1, we got the Rams, and that's honestly or not revenge, but like a game that's going to be interesting because of our OC, Nick Caley, coming from the Rams. So he's going to be coaching against his former team. So the week 1 game at LA in SoFi Stadium, that's going to be a good one for week 1.
Yeah, for sure. That's your new coach coming in, going up against his old team. It's always a good time. It's always a highlight. It's always something they talk about. So hey, he knows that offense. He's bringing that offense here, so that defense is already going to be ready. He knows the strengths of Matthew Stafford. He knows the in and outs of what Matthew Stafford likes to do. So you have a huge advantage in that, in that point of it. And then the Colts, could they
Mm.
snap their week 1 drought? I mean, we haven't won a week 1 game since like 2013, 2014.
Oh,
It's been a long time.
yeah.
And it seems like it doesn't matter who we play. We could play the Jaguars and we'll still
Yeah.
get our behinds whooped, and we'll still lose in week 1. It doesn't matter who we play. We always find a way to lose. And I think some of that has to come from having a new quarterback every year because, if every time you get a new quarterback, there's an adjustment period. Week 1 is usually really tough
Mhm.
because, it's the first live game action. Preseason to preseason, typically it's very
Yeah.
vanilla. They don't call these crazy coverages. They
Yeah, and then you're gonna see only one starter play for like one play, and that's it. So not even enough reps for them to get accustomed to the season.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, once you hit week 1, you don't really have that much rapport with the players. You haven't built too much. Yeah, you have training camp and all this, but it's not live. Nothing is like a live game.
Yeah.
But we're Dolphins at home, it's just kinda like the Dolphins, like, we're kind of the opposites, in offensive wise. Like, the Colts, they're
Mm,
gritty, they wanna run, RPO, play after play action, you wanna pound your opponent into the ground. And then you have the Dolphins, they're like
mm,
finesse, they wanna do all these end arounds, all that crazy stuff.
yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe Tyreek Hill is gonna go off on us for what we did, you do have Jalen Waddle you have to worry about too. They have so many weapons, they drafted a couple good running backs, so do we win week 1?
Mm,
I don't know at this point. I'm not saying anything yet because I really don't know. But you know what? I'll mark it down as a win. I'll mark it down as a win. Say,
yeah.
hey, we break the streak. We break the whatever it is. But yeah, it was nice you guys got 4 primetime games. The Colts only got
Oh yeah.
1 if you consider I think they did actually have 2 425 games. I think they sometimes consider those primetime games too.
Yeah.
But really, I only consider Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night. Those are the main primetime games.
Yeah.
And Colts got 1 against the Niners towards the end of the year. Maybe the Texans for the division. That would be awesome, like we did a
Yeah.
couple years
Yeah.
ago. But
Mm,
yeah, 1 primetime game. I don't blame them. I mean, Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, the media doesn't look at them as like anything special.
yeah.
So it's just like, hey, no one's really going to be interested in watching Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson throw 3 or 4 interceptions a
Mm,
game and fumble 2 or 3 times. So it's whatever. I understand it. I
yeah.
understand it from, it's understandable. But yeah, week 1, we got Dolphins. I say we win at home. Let's change the narrative.
Mm,
Let's start 1-0. It sucks because you start the season, you're like, oh no, we could go 17-0. That talk every year. But as soon as you go 0-1,
yeah.
it's like that's over already. It sucks. But it is what it is. So the Colts schedule. Go on, I'm
We
sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, no. I was just gonna say, week 1, it just definitely helps everybody, especially for the Colts. It helps them sort of see like, oh, how the offense is going to be heading into the season. Week 1's always that first foot on the ground. Let's see how we go. No matter if it's a win or loss, we're going to just get that feeling of, okay, this is going to be the rest of the season.
Exactly. It's a tone setter. And then like what you said, I loved what you were talking about with the media situation. You guys were hyped up, all this and that, and
Mm,
you guys were still good, but you weren't as good as the media thought you were gonna be.
yeah.
And sometimes those quiet off seasons are so much better because if you're in the media's
Yeah.
eyes and you lose to one team that you shouldn't lose to, it's right. All right, they're over. Write them off. That's it, and they'll never talk about you again. It sucks,
Mhm,
but I think when it's quiet,
yeah.
the players work harder. They're more hungry for that again because in the beginning of the season, if everyone's hyping you
Mhm,
up, you're like, okay, we got this. It's a little bit different of a hunger when no one's talking about you. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, the first 4 games for the Colts, they have. Oh, I don't even have the right page picked up here. I don't even have the right page up. So go ahead, talk about some of the Texans next one while I'll bring up the Colts.
Uh, the from week 1 to week 4, we of course got the Rams. Honestly, I'm going to count that as a win. The next game, which is our first home game, is actually on Monday Night Football, so that's going to be an interesting home opener. It's going to be exciting. I believe. Let me see what. I don't know if they're going to show the. Nah, they're going to keep the same uniforms. I thought they were going to go alternate. But that's an interesting game, home opener, Monday Night Football. That's going to be exciting. I'm gonna definitely try to go to one of these primetime games, just get that experience, like watch this team of because we got so much expectation now with this team. We want to go farther than we did last year. And heading to week 3, we're going out to Jacksonville. We're going to get the Travis Hunter versus Nico Collins, Travis Hunter versus Derek Stingley matchup, or Travis Hunter versus Kamari Lassiter at wide receiver. But we'll see as the time goes. But with the Buccaneers, I'm gonna count that as I'm honestly gonna go really high with our week all the way to week 4 was going 4-0 because after the Jaguars we got the Titans, and with the Titans and Jaguars I don't see them as like too bad of competition. When we go to Jacksonville, we're always tearing Jacksonville up in Jacksonville, and like their fans know it, our fans know it. Like no matter when we step foot, we always beat them. But we're coming back home to face the Titans on the next Sunday, and like I said, I believe that's gonna be another W. We'll see how Cam Ward does throughout these 4 weeks before they get to play us. But all I say is that's gonna be a tough matchup for Cam Ward, being a rookie going against a tough secondary, a tough defensive line, because I got to check to see how their O-line is looking, but our defense is just honestly like settled and ready. Our secondary is working out all together in the training outside the field, training inside the camp and everything. But for a rookie like Cam Ward, it's going based on how he's going to do these before they play us, and just seeing where it goes from there. But other than that, I got us going 4-0 until the next game. But we'll get to that. Once we get to your first 4 weeks.
All right. So our first 4 weeks, we have, of course, talked about the Dolphins. I said win. Week 2, we have the Broncos. The Broncos are going to be good this year. I think they're going to be able to compete with the Chiefs. I think they're a dark horse, pun not intended. I think they could really push the Chiefs to the limit in that division over there. I think they could win the division. Honestly, if the Chiefs aren't on their A game, if the Chiefs play like they did last year, and the Broncos come out firing like they should and play as good as they look on paper, I think the Broncos are going to win the division. But yeah, I have the Colts down as a loss versus the Broncos. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think the Colts are going to be a decent team. I say 9, 10 wins, and I say the ceiling is 11 or 12 games. But that's like ceiling, like crazy. Wow, okay. That's like everything goes right. Everyone stays healthy. That kind of situation, which doesn't really happen. So that's why it's a ceiling, But Denver, probably a loss. Tennessee, we're going to Tennessee. I'm marking down as a win there. I think they beat Tennessee. And then week 4, the Rams, I say we lose to the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford's very good. I think the Rams have a really well-rounded team. They're always really well coached. They're going to be ready. And we're going to LA too. And that's a big difference when those East Coast teams go all the way to well, I mean, the Colts are in Indianapolis. It's not East Coast, but I mean, it's definitely still a difference. I say that we still lose to the Rams. So I have us starting 2-2, which I think is fair. I think we beat the Dolphins in Tennessee. I could definitely see a scenario where we go 3-1 or even 1-3. Say we lose to Miami. Say we lose to Denver. Say we lose to the Rams. That all of those losses are very possible. But it's also possible to beat 3 out of the 4. I don't see us beating the Broncos, but I could also see the Colts pulling some kind of bull crap, losing the Dolphins, beating the Broncos. I mean, a couple years ago, they lost to 2 of the worst teams the first 2 weeks, and then they beat the Chiefs in week 3. So it's just a Colts thing. But I have the Colts 2-2 realistically is where I have them after the first 4 games.
Yeah, honestly, the Colts and the Rams game, honestly, I feel they're kind of on an even type match of how they play well-rounded with each other's teams. Honestly, with the Colts and Rams, I feel like that one can go down to the fourth quarter. Like a field goal can end it. That's how I believe. Like, so I wouldn't even put a L or a W on the Colts. I'm honestly like that's a 50-50 game for me. But that's an interesting one. But with us heading into week 5, I'm gonna count it as a loss because we're going against Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, and that's just our kryptonite. We're never. I just don't believe we're going to win in Baltimore for a while, especially with Lamar Jackson running around. So I'm definitely counting as a loss. So the first 5 weeks, 4-1, which isn't bad. But week 6, we actually have an early bye week. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So, we'll have to take a break after a loss. But, it'll give us time to, reassure ourselves of where we're at. But then heading after the bye week, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Is it away? Yes, it's away in Seattle. And honestly, Seattle, that's going to be a tough – like, I don't know. I feel like that one's going to be a wait and see, but I'll count it as a W. But it's one of those games where I feel like it might be a trap game. But we'll see as that time goes. And then after the Seattle Seahawks, we have our Sunday game, and we're going to be wearing our Rep and H-Town blue jerseys, and we're going to be going up against the 49ers, which will be honestly a good matchup. Two good defenses. D'Amico Ryan's going against his 49ers team. Honestly, that'll be a great matchup. But So far, I got us, and I'll count that as a W because honestly, I don't know. 49ers, they're just not as threatening as they were, like I would say like 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm honestly going to count that as W. I just feel like we got too much talent to be losing consistently in a way. So right now I got us, I'd say 7-1. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Sounds good. It's just the Ravens. It's just the Ravens that are worrying you a little bit.
Yeah, it's just the
But
Ravens
you
are
know
always like
what,
that.
though? I think it's always better
Mm.
to lose to a team like the Ravens in the regular season than to have to go on and
Mm.
beat them twice, for a second time in the playoffs. That's how I
Yeah.
feel. I always feel like when you're playing a really darn good team, I'd so much rather lose to them in the regular season than beat them in the playoffs because it
Yeah.
feels like beating a team like that twice,
Mm.
it just it's scary. It's not a fun time. But San Fran, I think they're gonna be good again this year if they could stay healthy. But that's the thing, like that's another thing. Like they can never stay healthy, but if they could stay healthy, I think they're gonna be just as good as they have been in the
Mm.
past before. I think they'll be back to a contender. But it's always a good thing to play all these good teams because it gets you ready for the playoffs. And then 7-1,
Yeah.
it's very possible, man. I mean, I think my my biggest thing is I think if that offensive line comes out and that offensive line figures it out and plays well early, then it's
Mm.
gonna be scary because you have Mixon, you have all those
Yeah.
weapons. I mean, they have so many weapons, and CJ Stroud, obviously, incredible. Defense gonna be fine. You have
Mm.
D'Amico Ryans, he knows how to call defense. You're talented. It's that offensive line. If you could protect CJ, get
Yeah.
that run game going a little bit, 7-1 is it's absolutely possible, 100%. I can still
Yeah.
see you beating the Ravens too. It's possible. It's possible. It is.
That's a dream. That's a dream. That's a dream for me. Like, hopefully, revenge.
I know how that goes. I know how that goes. But week 5, we'll go on to the Colts next 4 games here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Week 5, we have the Raiders. That's gonna be a tough game. I think the Raiders are gonna be harder to beat than people may think. Geno Smith, he's not great. He'll get the job done. And you have Pete Carroll. You have a quarterback that knows how to manage a team. He knows how to
Mm.
win. He won a Super Bowl in Seattle. He's won so many years with Russ over there. Um, you have Genty. You have Waller.
Yeah.
I mean, those 2 guys right there are going to be really difficult to stop. But other than that, their offensive
Mm.
line is there anything too much there? Receivers, is there anything too much to really worry about there? Not really. And their defense
Mm.
their defense isn't really good either. Maybe their offense can be sneakily dangerous, but I think the Colts will be fine. Even though it is
Mm.
hold on, let's see. Okay, we're home. I'll take that win there. And then you have
Oh,
and then week 6 we have the Cardinals. We're home there. I say we beat the Cardinals. I say we beat the Cardinals. They're a
mm.
good team. You got Murray, you could run around, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. That'd be interesting. Marvin Harrison Jr. going up against his dad's team. They have
Yeah.
good weapons, so our cornerbacks will need to be healthy and they'll need to be on their A game that game. Because Murray, I mean, he's
Mm.
inconsistent, but it seems like in the beginning of the season is when Kyler Murray's at his best. So we'll have to
Yeah.
be at our best. So, um, I'll mark it down as a win. I say we could beat the Cardinals. So so far we're 2-2, and then within the first 4. So right now we're 4-2. I'm sorry, I have to write it down so I don't forget. Um,
No, you're good. I honestly forget too on what
Yeah.
I'm counting.
So the Chargers, no. I say we don't beat the Chargers. They're too well-rounded. Finally they have a good head coach that can keep them disciplined and play good football, which has always been their big issue. We'd always say, Chargers are going to charge it, they're going to screw it up, but with Harbaugh
Yeah.
there, disciplined, they're going to play good football. That offensive line, as long as that offensive line can stay healthy, Herbert will be fine. They have plenty of weapons. Their defense was just good
Mm.
last year as well. So, I mean, the Chargers are going to be dangerous. The Chargers, the Broncos, they're going to be dangerous. They're going to give the Chiefs a good run for their money
Yeah.
this year. I do think the Broncos are a little bit better though. But versus the Chargers, I say we lose that one. We're sitting at 4-3 right now. Then after the Chargers, we're playing Tennessee. I'll give us a loss against Tennessee. The Colts, like I
Mhm.
said, we don't know who's going to be starting. I think our offensive line is going to struggle in the first half of the season because we lost Ryan Kelly. We lost Will Fries.
Mhm.
Both went to Minnesota, of course. Both went to the same place, man. Like, really? But I
Yeah.
don't care how good Tanner Bortolini is going to come in and right away. How good is he going to be? I don't think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be all right. But when you get a new center, that's all new language that the rest of the offensive line has to learn. I mean, when you have such a
Yeah.
smart center like Ryan Kelly, he's experienced, he knows what he's doing, he knows what he's looking at. Tanner Borrellini, he did learn under him, but there's nothing like experience and learning for it yourself. So
Yeah.
and Will Fries being gone, I think we'll be okay. But I think in the beginning of the season, it's going to take it. I think there's definitely going to be an adjustment period. And on top of that, Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson, I don't think either of them know how to set protection. I could be wrong. I mean, Daniel Jones' offensive line was just never good over in New York. But when you watch some of the better quarterbacks, they know how to set protection and they find a way to be protected in a good way. Most of the time, they know how to set it. So Daniel Jones doesn't know how to set protection. Anthony Richardson sure doesn't. He doesn't even know what he's looking at half the time. I hate to say that and be like that, but he doesn't. Colts fans hate me, but I mean, it's just the truth, man. Daniel Jones at least knows what he's looking at there, but pass protection wise, I say we lose. The Titans have a good defensive line. They have some weapons on offense. We'll see how Cam Ward does. So give me 4-4 halfway through the season for the Colts. So definitely behind the Texans so far, but that's just how it is. And our bye week hasn't happened yet. Our bye week is week 11 in the next quarter. You guys have an early bye week.
Yeah. We do.
That's the thing. I hate that. I hate that, especially when you have a good football team and you're going to be going to the playoffs 99%. It sucks because that late bye week really helps you propel you late into that season, but it is what it is. All right. Whenever you're ready to go into your next quarter, go for it.
Yeah, and I was just going to talk about the bye week. I was with our early bye week. The thing that sucks is, early bye week is pretty high. It's like midway, but even though it's midway, watch like in a small injury can occur, and then it's like, oh well, I wish we had a bye week right now so that they could have time to come back afterwards. But I'm pretty grateful for the week 6, so it's fine with me. But going on from our schedule being 7-1, leaving the 49ers, we got the Broncos at home. Honestly, every time the Broncos come into Houston, they always give us a fight. So I'm not going to lie. I'm going to count this as a loss. I got it 7-2 for the Broncos. After the Broncos, they're just that tough team that are underrated. They're in a great division. And honestly, they're still underrated in their division. I know everybody's going to look at the Chiefs still being, oh, maybe they might win the division again. Oh, we think they will. Honestly, they got other teams in the division now ready to take it over. So, and if it's the Broncos, it's going to be the Broncos. I'm not going to lie. But honestly, I see that as a trap game for us where we lose at home from them. And, after that, we got Jacksonville at home, which honestly, when it comes to Jacksonville and Tennessee, even though we lost to Tennessee last year, it was just one of those where honestly we could see where our team was, where we knew we were going to, in a way, we expected upsets because of how bad our offense was, how our defense was having to be relied on too much. So, of course, our defense was abused too much a lot. So, but after the Broncos, we got Jacksonville. I count that as another win at home. That'll have us 8-2. And afterwards, we're going to Tennessee. I'm going to count that as another W, go 9-2, because Jacksonville, Tennessee, they're just those two teams were – honestly, I feel we will overwhelm them. They can give us a close game as usual, but I just feel like with how they're dealing with new coaches, both of them at the same time. So honestly, I feel like when it comes to deep situations in the late close game, their coaches are just gonna pull the boneheaded moves where it's like, what are you doing? Why'd you call this or why'd you do this? And that's what loses them the game. I got us 8-2 after that. Then that next Thursday night, we have the Buffalo Bills at home, and that'll be a revenge game because of how when we played each other last year, we lost Nico Collins during that game. We beat Buffalo by a field goal at the end of the game. Honestly, it's a Thursday night game, and that's honestly the game I do want to try to go to. Let me see what colors we're going to be wearing our Battle Red Day. So all the red uniform, that'll be beautiful to see. That was a tough one to pick because we had a close game last year, but we gave Josh Allen his worst game last year of all time, all of last season, with his percentage of passing. So honestly, this game, oh man, I'm gonna honestly go another W. I'm not gonna lie, 9-2. I'm gonna just go with it, 9-2. The next few weeks we'll get into that once we get into yours. But yeah, 9-2 after the Bills. Honestly, to me, it's not too biased. It's more of I know where this team is going to go. this offensive line of what we got. What I tell people is we got 15 guys in our O-line room right now, and I know as training camp comes, as cuts come, they're going to pick, honestly, I'd say like 8 guys from the 15 and making sure that those 8 guys are the guys that are going to protect CJ all the way.
Yeah, and we'll see how that Buffalo Bills run defense is this year, because I mean, if it doesn't improve much, if it doesn't get a little better, Texans come in there with some good offensive line play. They run the football, get some play action going. It's going to be a long day for that Bills defense, and there's only so much Josh Allen could do sitting on the bench. You know what I mean? And Josh Allen, when he's sitting on the bench, he's getting aggravated. He wants to get out there. That's when he tends to kind of play a little hero ball and try to, he's going to force things, make some mistakes. So, yeah, I think you guys got a good chance to beat the Bills. I mean, I think you guys match up pretty good against them. You have an awesome defense, an awesome gritty defense that's not going to shy away from any fight. So I think you guys would be fine. So that was your 4, right? You went through 4, right?
Yeah. 9. So it's 9-2 right now.
All right. So next up for the Colts, week 9, we have the Steelers. We've beaten them 2 times in a row. Before that, we haven't beaten them since 2009. So something's telling me that, there's coming a time where we're going to lose them pretty soon. I don't think it's this year. I think our defense is going to, especially if it's Mason Rudolph starting. Yeah, their defense worries me a little bit, but with Mason Rudolph starting, if he's going to be the starter, I do like Will Howard, but rookie is going to be, is Will Howard going to be playing by now? But still, on top of that, if he's going to be a rookie, Lou Anarumo, the way he plays defense, he is going to give that rookie a hell of a day. Either one. So I'm going to take the win against Pittsburgh. I think our offense does enough, and I think we find a way to beat Pittsburgh. So we're going to 5-4. Then we have Atlanta, week 10. How is Michael Penix going to look this year? I mean, they have the weapons. They have Drake London.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the weapons, man.
They got Bijan. It's one of those where like the Colts defense needs to have step up as a team on defense, on offense, because Atlanta, people may want to crap on Atlanta here and there, but they're still that tough team that sneaks into the playoffs somehow.
They're no joke. They can definitely be an 8, 9, 10 win team this year and sneak into the playoffs. They're a decent football team, but we are home, and I'm gonna take the Colts. I'm gonna take the Colts because you know what? We're going into the bye week. You know who we're playing after the bye week? The Chiefs. That's an L. That's an L. But fun fact: the only team that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have not beaten in the regular season are the Colts. I know that's like the weirdest crap you would ever hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
We beat them with Matt Ryan and Jacoby Brissett.
Oh my gosh. Now we need Daniel Jones to do it.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And I think Jones is okay. I think in a good situation. I'm not saying Jones is great by any means. I think in the right system, which I think the Colts is a perfect situation for him with Shane Steichen. I think we have a good, the offense line is going to have an adjustment period, but we have a lot of good weapons. I'm not just being a homer and saying this stuff. You guys, if you guys have watched videos, I've been nothing but the Colts' biggest critic. But this year, I like our weapons. I like JT. I love DJ Giddens. I'm going to mark it down as a loss, though. Realistically, I can't go off of the last 2 wins we got off them because they were as fluky as you can get, literally. So I'm going 6-5, and that's, 9, 10, 11, 12? Yep, they're my 4 games. So currently, the Colts are sitting at 6-5, and the Texans are at 9-2 or 10-2?
9-2, I believe.
So, yeah. In the home stretch here, the Texans are looking pretty good. I say at this point, we're probably maybe a game or 2 ahead of the Titans. But I say in this last stretch here from week 13 to 18, I say that we pull away from the Titans. And I don't know if we catch Texans at this point. We do have 2 games remaining with them, but if it goes how you're saying, you're beating the Bills, you're beating some of these other really damn good teams. I mean,
no, trust me. These next few weeks are going to get a little sketchy on the losses.
All right, sure.
But honestly, the one thing I was going to bring up with Daniel Jones is with what he reminds me of is Kirk Cousins with Washington. And then once he left Washington, Washington was, poverty. It reminds me of that in a way. Like Kirk Cousins went from him being, decent, but people still trash on him, but it's because he was on a trash team at the time. That's what it reminds me of with Daniel Jones being with the Giants, leaving to go to a franchise that knows what they want. They know that they want to win. That's what Kirk Cousins did heading into Minnesota and everything. And his career uplifted. So that's the way I feel like Dan Jones in a way wants to see himself as well. Just where people want to crap on him, then go to a team that wants to build something up pretty soon. So I honestly don't want to criticize Daniel Jones too hard right now because he was on the trash team last year, previous years. But going to the Colts, that's a team I think he'll thrive with. But with week 13, we got the Colts away. I'm honestly going to count this as a W, 10-2. Honestly, that's how it is. It's always our first game. We managed to win. We'll talk about the next game later. But the first game is always somehow Texans win. But it's always a tough matchup no matter what it is. It just sucks though because by week 13 we don't know what, like from right now to the week 13 we don't know what injuries are going to occur. We don't know what's going to happen by then. So anything can happen. But I'm going to count that as a W, 10-2. After the Colts, week 14, I'm going to count it as a loss. It's a revenge game. It's on Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. I'm going to count it as a loss because I just still don't trust the referees. I don't trust I just don't trust how the media is going to cover it. It's going to be one of those games where we're going to be in it. I know by then it's going to be cold as crap. So December 7th. But Sunday night game, it'll be a good game still no matter what. But I know it'll be a game where I'm going to be yelling too much. I know I'm going to be cussing at the screen. But I honestly count this as a loss. But, it's the regular season. We're still got a good record. The playoffs tell a different story because you only can get one win or one loss, and you're either heading into the playoffs or getting kicked out of the playoffs. So, this one, it don't define our regular season losing the Chiefs, but it's just going to be a tough loss. After the Chiefs, we got Arizona Cardinals at home. Week 15. Honestly, that's another trap game for us. I feel like that's another trap game for us. That I know Arizona might be one of those teams where they do fall off at the end of the season, but then they still upset somebody, and I feel that might be us. So I'm gonna give that a 10-4 to us. I'm not gonna lie,
giving the Colts a chance
because Arizona did. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. And sometimes when we're at home and we have a good record, we just kind of like overthink ourselves, and then we just automatically get a loss somehow. That's how it is. That's how it always is throughout all these years. Well, we lose 2 games, but we don't ever lose 3 games. That's for sure. But yeah, I'll count this as a loss. It's not bad at all. After Arizona, we got week 16 at home against the Raiders. Honestly, I'll count that as W. Raiders by then, I think they'll know who they are. I think they'll be a good up and coming team, but not great this year at all. Like I think they'll be in like the top 15 picks for the next NFL, the next draft. Honestly, that's how I see them. But I count this as a W. They're just a young team, but they'll still give a fight. But I'll still count that as a W for us. Week 17, we got the Chargers. That's gonna be another revenge game because we beat them in the playoffs. Justin Herbert got 4 interceptions in one game. I know that they're hungry to come face us again. Oh no, never mind. It's an away game. We're going over there. So yeah, that's definitely be a revenge game going over there. But honestly, I'm gonna count that as a W. I'm not gonna lie. Chargers and Texans, we always have good games together, but we overcome the Chargers a lot, no matter when it is. So I'll count that as a W.
Hold on 1 second. I have an idea for the. Oh wait, were you gonna start talking about the Colts game, or do you have more for the?
I was also gonna go into the game. But what are you gonna say?
I think we should both do that last.
Okay.
Because I mean, we're still going with the quarters 4 at a time, and then we'll just do Houston last. Houston and Colts last. That feels like a good idea.
Because what do I gotta say? 11-4, I think.
I have 12-4 written down, and then going into the last game.
Okay. Yeah. 12-4. Right. That's good.
All right. So for the Colts now, going into this next one. All right. We have. All right. Where did I leave off? KC. The last week, KC, I think, and then the next week was Houston.
Yeah.
I say we lose. We lose in Indy. I say we lose in Indy. So then we're 6-6.
I think CJ loves playing in Indy though, because like the hype, the loudness of Indy. I think he just loves playing in Indianapolis.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was saying the thing about Indy and Texans. I think CJ loves to play in Indianapolis. I don't know what it is. He just loves to play over there and win over there. So that's what that's how it is to me. Like I think he just loves that crowd.
Yeah, and you know what though? It's kind of like he's like the T.Y. Hilton now for us. Because you know when we played you when T.Y. Hilton was with us. I don't know what it was. T.Y. just traded the Megatron every game.
I can just say he owned NRG Stadium.
The clown mask and all that. Remember all that in that playoff game too?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna mark that down as a loss. So we're 6-6. All right. After Houston, we have Jacksonville. In Jacksonville. We haven't won in Jacksonville since like 2014 either. It's like you were saying earlier. Every time you guys go to Jacksonville, you guys dominate them and smoke them. I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, I can't relate, man. I so wish that we could beat them in Jacksonville. It's like that Carson Wentz year. Last game, we were the media darling. For example, you know, as we were talking about the media earlier, we were the media darling. That was JT's crazy year. Carson Wentz was on and off. All we had to do was either beat the Raiders or the Jaguars, and they both had interim head coaches. We freaking lose to both, and we get dominated by the Jaguars last week. All right, that's over with. All right, the Jaguars, we win. I say we win. I say, you know what? Shane Steichen, Daniel Jones is 100% the starter by this point if he doesn't start just, you know, in week 1. Because there's no way Anthony Richardson starts all year. I just don't think it's going to last. I don't think it's going to last. Jacksonville, so you know what? Give us Daniel Jones. Give us a quarterback with a good situation. Going to make the smart decisions. Going to get the ball where it needs to go. 7-6. We're no.
And I think by that time too, Jacksonville will show who they are. Like I've always said, I feel like Jacksonville hired their coach way too fast. It was a rush hire after they fired, you know, their GM, their coach. They rushed to this hire. So I feel like this is gonna be a team that, just like when they hired what was it, Urban Meyer, right?
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah. I feel like this is honestly one of the same exact situation where they're gonna just fall on their head. I just don't see this as a team that is going to win because of the coaching.
Yeah, I mean it's been a rough go for them. It's been a rough go for Indy and Jacksonville, but that ends. That ends this year. Mark my words. I don't know if our week 1 curse ends because versus the Dolphins, that's a 50-50 game. But Jacksonville, on paper, going in this game, we should win this game regardless. Should, and I say we do. I say we do end that curse or losing streak this year with that one. Next we have Seattle. It's away. It's in Seattle, and they say Seattle is one of the most difficult places to play in. I say we lose. I say we lose to Seattle. They lost DK. They have JSN. They still have some, a couple good weapons. They could still run the ball. Their defense is scary. We're going to have Daniel Jones, but their defense is scary. You know, how is our pass rush going to be at this point? Because our pass rush was almost non-existent the last couple of years. So if our offensive line can play all right, I think this is another 50-50 game, to be honest with you. But I'm giving Seattle this game. So currently we are 7-7. So we're out of the division at this point. If it goes this way, we're out of the division. It's over.
I still see it on second place.
But hopefully. Then we have San Fran. We're home. Monday Night Football game. Would not shock me if this game was flexed out. You know, because there could be another game that could have a lot more complications. I can see it being flexed out. 8:15 Monday Night Football. We're home. It's nice that we have that extra day since we're coming back from Seattle as well. So that could definitely play a factor. And they're coming to us, but they get that extra day too. So it is what it is. I say we beat the Niners. I love Brock Purdy. I think you know I'm a Brock Purdy guy. I love Brock Purdy to death. But I say the Colts find a way to win. And I think the Seahawks are going to be good. Or the 49ers. I think the 49ers are going to have a winning record, and I think they're going to compete. I don't know if they're going to be a contender, but as long as they're somewhat healthy, I still think that the Niners are going to be a pretty damn good team. But let's say there's an injury or two in this game. The Colts take the win. So the Colts are what? I'll go with 8-7 now. Now, last game, 17 Jacksonville. we sweep Jacksonville this year. I say we finally do it. We sweep
Okay.
Jacksonville. I mean, I had us going 1-1 with Tennessee. I'm probably gonna have us going 1-1 with 1-1. I don't even know with Houston yet. I don't know what I want to do for that last game.
All I'm saying is I'm not counting the whole sweep.
Jacksonville. So we're what 9-7. So currently we're sitting at 9-7. Probably bubble. Probably 7 or 8 at the moment. Maybe we're in 5. I don't think so. So yeah, there are those games. Currently we're 9-7. The Texans are 12-4, and we're on the last game. The Texans and the Colts. So do you want to take it away first?
Yeah, what I'm gonna say with 12-4, I'm gonna count it as a loss because so I'm gonna end our season 12-5. The reason behind that is by 12-4, by the final game, everybody knows where they're at. Play stat number 1, number 2. Honestly, I feel like with our 12-4, I feel we're either going to be locked in at 2 or say even 1, either one. And I'm definitely going to be excited if that's the case. But with 12-4, the reason I say week 17 loss because I know by that time, the final game we're going to just say, hey, rest starters, get the starters, prepared for the playoffs because we're not going to have anybody get injured, anybody get exhausted from this final game. So let's just put in the backups. Davis Mills, our backup from Florida. I already forgot his name. That we just drafted. But that's how it is with the final game.
I think, right?
I think so. I believe so. That's how bad it is. I already forgot his name because I know he'll be the third string.
Listen.
But we'll see plenty of him in the preseason. I'm pretty sure. But with the Week 17 game, yeah, I'll count as a loss because I know we'll play our backups, so we'll get ready for the playoffs. But when it comes to playoffs too, I won't even put a prediction. We'll just see how far as we go.
Listen, let me tell you, it's a blessing in disguise not to know your backup quarterback because as a Colts fan, we know our backup, we know our third stringer, and we talk about them pretty frequently. So take that and be happy that you don't know your backup. You know what I mean? Because that's Colts fans. We know our backups. But I say the same thing. I say the Colts find a way to win this game, but it could also be a situation where, say, this game is flexed later. I mean, if everything's ready, said and done, it probably won't be flexed to a primetime game. But it could be a Saturday game, possibly, because maybe the Texans will be fighting for a higher seed. Maybe they will be in that position to get the number 1 seed if they win.
Oh, it's in Houston too. Oh, that's great. But
so if that's the case, I mean, you guys are probably going to play your starters and play for that bye.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's true. If like say somebody like Baltimore or say somebody like it sucks because I don't even want to put Kansas City in the 10+ win team. I really don't want to say them at all. I really want them to fall off so bad. But say that one of these teams do have a close record as ours and are fighting for that number 2 and number 1 lock, and I know we do want that number 1 lock to have home field advantage. We will play the starters if that's the case, I'm sure, but if not, if we're locked in at 2 because somebody's better than us, I definitely will still stick with we're gonna just put the backups in, just giving the Colts a W. And honestly, what I'd say is giving the Colts W, and the Colts use that W to sneak into the playoffs. That's how I see it.
That'd be nice. That'd be funny if we win and then we play the next week in the playoffs. That could be something that happens. You never know. 7 seed. If you guys are the 2 seed, which at this record it's possible, we probably would be the 7th seed because I mean you have the Chiefs or the Broncos, the Chargers. One of those teams are going to win the division. Probably the Broncos or Chiefs, and then you're going to have probably the Chargers or the Broncos both be in there at the wild card. So if the Colts do make it, you're going to have to get that 7th seed, because I don't think they're going to have a better record, or they may be close to the Chargers. Maybe they'll be similar to the Chargers compared to the Broncos, but I really don't know. But yeah, I say they win that one too, 10-7. Colts finish 10-7, and the Texans finish 12-5, which I mean, I think that's a really realistic season for both of these teams.
Yeah, I think
that was
so
a nice breakdown. I do have a couple fun facts for the Colts schedule. Colts schedule, 9 home games, 8 away games. We have the 25th hardest schedule. So we don't have that too bad of a schedule. Our strength of schedule is pretty low. It's not that difficult. It seemed like you guys had quite a few tough teams in there as well, though. But that comes with winning the division. You're going to play the first teams of the winners of other divisions as well. So the Colts have the 7th most miles they will travel this year. They're going to travel just over 25,000 miles, which is absolutely absurd.
Mhm.
The most is the Chargers at 37, at just over 37,000 miles, and the least amount is just under 9,000 miles. It's that's a big difference, and that traveling makes a difference on you because the Colts. The Colts and the Texans. What we're going. The Texans are a little closer, but the Colts are going to LA a couple times, play the
Yeah.
Rams, or we're going over there a couple times.
Mhm.
I don't know if we're going to Denver. I think we're playing in Denver. No, we might be home for Denver. I'm not sure, but either way, that's a lot of traveling. Because you
Yeah.
have to go there, you have to come back. We're going down to Miami. That's a bit of a move to Houston. That's a
Mhm.
bit. So the traveling definitely takes a toll. But
And the Colts don't have no international games.
oh yeah, Atlanta,
Oh,
Atlanta. That's
did
right.
it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, we do. We're playing the Falcons in Berlin. I should have brought that up. I had it written here as I'm talking
Us, we
about it.
have none. So I'm grateful, but I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'd rather do none because I'm not waking up
Honestly,
early.
honestly, it's a win-win if you do or don't. As a
Yeah.
fan, as
Yeah.
a player, it's like, oh, son of a bitch, we have to go, overseas and
Yeah.
such and such. But I'll bleep that out or cut that out maybe. But just a curse word. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's my prediction. If you have
Mm.
anything else you want to put out there for last minute or any last statements before we get out of here?
No, it's just mainly just honestly like this off season's been going fast. We got the schedules out finally. We're getting ready. Like it's literally, I think by a few more weeks they're gonna release a training camp schedule. So I'm definitely gonna record content for y'all. I try to go to one, try to make time to go to one because with my work schedule I have Fridays off, and usually they have training camps on Fridays. So I'm gonna get up early, go to one, record it. One of these games, I definitely am going to try to hopefully go to the Thursday night football game against the Bills at home because that battle red, lights out, fire on, man. Hey, that's gonna be a great one to record as well.
That's gonna be that's gonna be a good time. I've never been to a primetime game.
Mm,
I had the opportunity once to go to the Eagles and Cowboys Sunday night
mm,
game because I'm in Pennsylvania area. I'm like 2.5 hours away from Philly. So a
yeah,
Sunday night football game between Eagles and Cowboys, I'm like, yeah, it's a good game to go to because I'll be neutral. I won't wear my Colts stuff.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I've never been to a primetime game.
Mm,
Well, I've been to a Colts game in Indianapolis. I've been to Colts and Eagles in Philly. think that's I think
yeah,
that's it.
and
But
for me, because my dad was a Packers fan, we went to Green Bay for our Thursday night game against the Bears, and it almost when I was younger, it almost converted me to be a Packers fan because I loved the aura over there. I loved the area. I loved the fans. So if somehow Texans got sold again like the Oilers, hey, it might just turn me into a Green Bay fan.
hey, your boy Matthew Golden, how
Oh man,
how are you and the Packers doing these days since then?
the PTSD from the draft, but it's fine. It's fine. We got receivers that I love. That we got two. Hey, our Iowa State what receivers that were roommates tonight. Hey, just we're gonna have what they gave us the nickname now is team's got to get ready for our cyclone duo.
There you go. There you go. Oh yeah, by the way, I tried pineapple and pepperoni pizza. Awesome. It's awesome. And you know what? I added bacon to it. It was
Oh no,
very
that's what I do, and I do it. I
yeah,
do it well. I do it well done too. I tell them to like cook it more.
yeah. Ooh, it was great suggestion. Great suggestion.
Yeah.
That's the question of the day. Do you guys like pineapple on your pizza? I mean, try pineapple and pepperoni. It's pretty good. If you do pineapple pepperoni, add some bacon on there for some.
Add extra sauce. Add extra cheese. Hey, well done too. Oh my god.
All right, that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. It was a good time. That's it. Don't have anything else, right?
No, I'm pretty good.
All right, sounds good, guys. Damn, we were in here for almost an hour. All right, sounds good. I'll catch you guys later. JDW, aka Jason. You have Aaron, aka Head of the Table. Too many AKAs, but
Okay.
we're making do. I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching.